Please, Barrister Fru, let's take it the round so that we can conclude on that note.
Yes, but yeah, before I get to that, let me say this. We are not the first to have this kind of war. It's just that the world has decided to turn its eyes on us. They would have created safe zones. UNICEF would have created safe zones for children to be able to go to school without having to suffer the pangs of the effects of this war. And it is also disingenuous for anybody member of government of this revolution, the government of the Southern Cameroons in exile, blame the population on the ground for any reason whatsoever. Our people on the ground are paying the price already. They may say that one thing, and how many people say that? What I know is that generally our people support this revolution, and they are taking the brunt. That's why every Monday they stay home to respect the real country Sunday. And this is because they support this revolution. And when we hear things on this network saying that the population is doing nothing, you can sit there and do nothing. You have to know that the war had existed. Yes, they know that there's a war, but we have to, as a government, continue to strike and make sure that we get to the UNICEF, we get to the people that matter, to create safe zones for children to be safe, to create whatever the international community does in a war zone for our people to survive in. Our people have taken it for 9 years, and that's a credit that we must give our population. We cannot chantise our population on this network. They are the people that are taking the brunt while we sit here in the diaspora and talk. Having said that, Paddy, it is that one of the things that the Commission for Health and Social Services, led by Dr. Patience Abiado, is doing is to collect whatever funds to collect from us and to be able to help not only the refugees in Nigeria, but also the IDPs and all the orphans that have been created as a result of this war. So we have a duty, a moral duty, to contribute to that fund. And as soon as I leave from this network, I'm going to do my own contribution. Because whatever we do here, stay here and talk, we are protected here, but our people are exposed to the effects of this war, and we must understand that we cannot chastise them for not contributing to the war. They are already contributing more than we think. What I think issues is those in the diaspora who don't care about what is happening on the ground, and there are many of them. That is where I agree. But about our people on the home front, I would put the figure at 80 to 90% of support to this revolution, support to this interim, to this government led by Dr. Sako, that does not only takes care of self-defense, it also takes care of refugees, it takes care of IDPs, it takes care of prisoners of conscience, it takes care of widows on the ground. When a soldier of this government dies, the responsibility for bearing falls on the government. Have we ever thought about that? And this is the thing that we must think about when we talk about our people who are facing the brunt of this war. So let's contribute to Dr. Abiado's call. Let's do what we have to do to make sure that we make resources available for them to be able to take care of the refugees in Nigeria and other places, the IDPs in Douala and Yaoundé, the orphans the people that are being created because of this war. And to finish, Paddy, there is a woman in my Tunkwen who lost the only son in university, her only child, who was in the University of, Bamenda, who was taken out by La Republic soldiers, turn around and go to the back of the building, the back of their house, and shot to death. Those are the things. The things that are going on the ground that we need to talk about so that the world can listen to us.
And the truth is, if we don't talk about it, one of the ways that the world is knowing is when we talk about it, we're internationalizing the struggle. I think that UNICEF and all those criminal organizations, Barrister Fro, cannot participate the way they should right now is because it will be legitimizing our claim. Cameroon is denying that there's no war, that there's no mercy. So if UNICEF comes now, which is being manipulated by them, it will simply just facilitate it. So it's a quagmire that is really an unfortunate thing. Before I go to Barrister Mbesia, I also want to reiterate we didn't speak about that. It is with the inclusion of this network, you need to support this network today. Take note the management of this TV for the past 4 years has been you can appreciate it yourself. We have never come crying to you in public. But we are facing the same challenges that the TV has always faced. The difference now is that the management is more mature. And so we don't come every day in public crying to the people of Ambazonia. You can't just sit and assume that somebody else is doing it. You must ask yourself, what are you doing? And I'm asking you that's watching us right now. You've got to do something right now.